Back to the slides about precedence. So operators with a higher precedence are evaluated before those with lower precedence. You can think about having higher precedence is like having a higher priority level, and the lower precedence means lower priority. Let's see one analogy right away. Over here, if you see what you did, for the basic arithmetic, if you simply don't have any parentheses to really force the order of evaluation, in that case, we know that this part is going to be evaluated first because the multiplication actually got higher priority, or we say higher precedence, whereas the plus actually got lower precedence, right? It's that simple. Right, let me just go over with one example together with you right away, okay, about precedence. And before I say, okay, let's do that, okay, right away. Let's say this, we got, in general, let's say we got 3 Boolean variables, we got P, Q, and also R, all right? So now if we say P or Q and R, that's what we say, no parentheses. So let's now focus on the pink one just for now, all right? So now here is the precedence facts that you want to know. So ampersand has higher precedence than disjunction, meaning that this is going to be evaluated first. That's what it means for if an operator has a higher precedence. Okay, so that means over here, if I have over here without the parentheses, it will be as if there is some parentheses over here. It will be as if, all right? And now let's the precedent sometimes if you forgot about the precedence, you have to be very careful because it may not be exactly what you meant. For example, you can see for the blue and the green, we got 3 variables over here, PQR, and also PQR over here. And also we got our 2 operators and 2 operators over here. However, if we try to bracket the parentheses differently, then the result might be different. Let's see exactly why. Okay, very quickly. And then we'll, the precedence is a very simple topic. You just have to know the conjunction actually has a higher precedence than disjunction. Okay? All right, let's now take a look. For the first one over here, let's just use an example. Let's say P is true, Q is true, and R is false. Okay, so now when we say P or parenthesis Q and R, so we are really saying true or, so true and false, right? True, 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 false, and false. You can see the correspondence over here, right? That one should be quite easy because one of the operands for conjunction is already false. So that means this part over here is really false. And then, as long as one of the operand of disjunction is actually true, the overall is going to be true. Just going to be true over here. All right, so the answer would just be true. What about the green one? The green one over here, we still got, okay, parenthesis, true or true and actually false over here, right? True, 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 false, and false. You can see the correspondence here. All right, so now both operands are actually for the disjunction is actually true. Well, as long as one of them is actually true, it will be true anyway. So this part over here, we know that it's already true. But you can see already one of the operands for conjunction is already false. So that means overall is actually going to be false. So you can see we got different result. We got true versus false. So they're different. So in order to really make sure you really understand what you're doing, see if you simply write P or Q and R, but somehow you forgot about whether they should be bracketed this way or they should be bracketed this way, because different ways of bracketing the expressions will give you different result. So that's the key, right? And then for those of you who might be wondering, what about other logical operators? So basically, let me just say one more. So the precedence over here, the highest one is logical negation. That is the highest one. And then conjunction and then disjunction, right? We already talked about conjunction has higher precedence than disjunction, and this the negation actually has the highest one. For example, I'll just tell you quickly. If I got, let me just take this example further. If I simply write not P or Q and R, all right? So now we know that the highest precedence would be over here, right? It would be this guy over here, the logical negation. So that means this part must be evaluated first. And then we know that conjunction also got higher precedence, so that means this one also has to be evaluated next. And then finally, disjunction. So let's see this. This will be just equivalent to, okay, let me just write it down for you. So this will be evaluate the highest one over here, evaluate this first, evaluate this next, and then use disjunction, right? You can try different ways of bracketing it, right? For example, another way to, okay, so this equivalent, right? Another way of bracketing that, I'll just give you one example. If I say not P or Q and R over here. So now I might say I want to evaluate this expression first before I apply negation. And then I want to evaluate this first before I want to apply conjunction. This is also possible. So it really depends on how you actually bracket the expression. But without the bracketing, everything will go with the precedence level for the operators. Okay, think about version number 1, version number 2, and also version number 3. Version number 1 is equivalent to version number 2. They are just equivalents. However, this number 3 over here is simply not equivalent to either 1 or 2. All right, you can definitely try to play with the logical value like what I did over here. I simply choose the P, Q, and R such that different ways of bracketing will actually show you different result, true versus false over here. So now one exercise for you. Okay, exercise. Okay, so now find values for P, Q, and R, showing number 1 over here. So this will be number 1. Let's say this. Let's say number 2. Number 1, number 2 are equivalent anyway. Number 2 and also number 3, showing number 2 and number 3 may evaluate to different results. Maybe one of them is actually true and the other one is false, right? That's what I meant. All right, that'll be exercise for you, pretty much like what I did over here. Okay, do the exercise on your own, and then if you got trouble, speak to me. All right. Let's now talk about final small topic, which will be very quick, about associativity. So now it might be right. Okay, so in this case, we have to know about precedence because it is different operator we're talking about. We got conjunction here, we got disjunction. So we have to know which one actually got higher precedence over here. But what if we got conjunction here and also conjunction here? In that case, it will be quite easy. It's called operator associativity, how we actually group the evaluation. Which one should we go from left to right or right to left, right? So the rule for evaluation in Java and also in many programming languages will simply be from left to right. So now, for example, let's say arithmetic. If you simply got this, the plus and also minus, they actually got the same level of precedence. So there's no which one first. There's no question about it. So now in this case, we'll simply go from left to right. Do this one first, followed by this one over here. All right. And then let's say if you got this, let's say you just got disjunction. Okay, you can see disjunction here and disjunction here, they have the same level of precedence. They are the same operator. In that case, we'll try to do this one first, the left over here, and whatever result you get is going to disjoin with the final false over here. So that's the associativity for the logical operators. All right, so that's about the precedence and associativity for logical operators. So now, so far we talked about really the insight about interpreting your logical operator, conjunction, disjunction, and negation. And now we can move back to really talk about many more examples about if statements.